This is Defense News Weekly from NewsGate Television, edition number 27. In this episode, we take a closer look at the record number of defense exports that have been recorded in the last financial year, which has touched an all-time high record of $2.63 billion. And in this episode, we also take a closer look at the exploits of the Indian Navy's dreaded Marcos, the commandos of the Indian Navy, which recently freed a shipping vessel and also freed and rescued 23 Pakistani sailors. But first things first. News of the week gone by began with Border Road Organization, the BRO, commencing its work to connect the strategic Nimmu Padam Darcha Road in Ladakh on the 25th of March. This 298-kilometer long road will connect Manali to Leh through Darcha and Nimmu on Kargil-Leh highway. The road is now the third axis apart from Manali-Leh and Srinagar-Leh, which connects Ladakh to the hinterland. The Nimmu Padam Darcha Road derives its strategic importance from the fact that this is not only a shorter vis-a-vis the other two axes, but crosses only one pass, the Shinkunla Pass, which is located at 16,558 feet, on which tunnel work is about to commence by the BRO. This will result in a road having all-weather connectivity to Ladakh region. The connectivity will strengthen the defense preparedness and provide a boost to the economic development in the Zanskar Valley. The Indian Coast Guard ship Samudra Peheredar, a specialized pollution control vessel, was in Manila Bay, Philippines between 25th and 27th of March. It was on a 3-day visit there. The visit of Specialized Pollution Control Vessel is a part of a broader initiative aimed at demonstration of Indian Coast Guard marine pollution response capabilities and shared concerns and resolve towards marine pollution in the ASEAN region. This is beside the bolstering of bilateral cooperation with the Philippines Coast Guard. The ICG ship is on an overseas deployment to ASEAN countries, namely the Philippines, Vietnam and Brunei, from 25th of March to 12th of April. The deployment is third in a row by the Indian Coast Guard to ASEAN countries. Earlier in the year 2023, ICG pollution control vessels visited Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand and Indonesia as part of the initiative. The visit holds significant importance in strengthening bilateral relationship with key maritime agencies including the Philippines Coast Guard, Vietnam Coast Guard and Brunei Maritime Agencies. ICG has a memorandum of understanding towards enhanced maritime cooperation and maritime security and safety with the Coast Guards of the Philippines and Vietnam. In a major reforms towards ease of doing business and to achieve Atmanirbhar in defense, the Department of Defense Production under the Ministry of Defense has issued notification for reorganization of Directorate General of Quality Assurance, which is aimed at speeding up quality assurance processes and trials and reducing layers of decision-making. This reorganization also factors change in quality assurance methodology and revised role of DGQA post-corporatization of ordnance factories. With the corporatization of ordnance factories into new DPSUs, increased participation of private defense industry and impetus by government towards indigenization, a need was felt to reorganize DGQA for an effective and efficient support to emerging defense manufacturing industry. The new structure under implementation will enable single-point technical support for complete equipment, weapon platform at all levels, and also ensure uniformity in product-based quality assurance. The new structure also provides a separate Directorate of Defense Testing and Evaluation Promotion to facilitate transparent allocation of proof ranges and testing facilities. The second edition of India-Mozambique-Tanzania trilateral exercise concluded at Nacala in Mozambique on 28th of March. The week-long exercise underscores the importance of enhanced maritime cooperation and interoperability between the navies of India, Mozambique, and Tanzania. INS Tir and INS Sujata participated in the trilateral exercise through a series of joint exercises, training sessions, and collaborative activities, providing invaluable opportunities for all three navies to exchange knowledge, enhance capabilities, and bolster maritime security in the region. The IMT Trilat 24 exercise unfolded in two phases. The initial harbour phase was from 21st to 24th of March, which saw intensive training sessions concurrently held on board INS Tir at Zanzibar and INS Sujata at Maputo. The sea phase commenced on 24th of March, wherein INS Tir and INS Sujata embarked sea rides from the Tanzanian and Mozambique navies respectively. Defense Secretary Giridhar Armane visited the Indian Coast Guard facilities in the Northwest region between 28th and 29th of March. During the visit, he inaugurated the infrastructure for Hovercraft Maintenance Unit at Okha in Gujarat on 28th of March. The hovercrafts are based at Okha and Jakhau for maintaining the surveillance in 50 islands in the area of responsibility in Gulf of Kutch, in the shallow waters and marshy terrain along the coast of Gujarat. The field facility for Hovercraft Maintenance Unit will enable timely technical support, upkeep and maintenance of these hovercrafts, which in turn will ensure optimum operational availability and keep them in ever-ready status to meet any operational requirement. The Defense Secretary was also briefed about the upcoming 200-meter-long ICG jetty construction work at Okha. In addition to the recently inaugurated jetty at Vadinar, the Indian Coast Guard is also constructing a 100-meter jetty extension at Porbandar and 125-meter jetty at Mudra in addition to the 200-meter jetty at Okha. Indian Navy's sailing vessel Tarini, which is currently on a transoceanic sailing expedition, set sail from Port Louis, Mauritius on 30th of March. The sailing vessel is crewed by a resilient duo of Lieutenant Commander Rupa and Lieutenant Commander Dilana, will undertake return voyage to Goa covering a distance of approximately 2,900 nautical miles. This expedition is a part of the preparation training for upcoming circumnavigation planned to commence in September later this year. Earlier, INSV Tarini arrived at Port Louis on 21st of March after a non-stop voyage of 22 days from INS Mandovik in Goa. INS Tarini is likely to reach Goa later this month on the 20th of April. The closing ceremony of India-US bilateral tri-service exercise, codenamed Tiger Triumph 2024, concluded on 30th of March last month. USS Somerset was on port call at Visakhapatnam for this particular exercise. The exercise signifies the robust strategic partnership between the two countries and was aimed towards sharing best practices and standard operating procedures in undertaking multilateral HADAR operations. The harbour phase was conducted at Visakhapatnam from 18th to 25th of March. The sea phase was conducted from 26th to 30th of March, and it included units of both the countries undertaking maritime exercise at sea, followed by landing of troops at Kakinada for setting up of a joint command and control center with a joint relief and medical camp for HADAR operations. The cross-deck helicopter operations involving UH-3H, CH-53 and MH-60R helicopters were also undertaken between the ships of the Indian Navy and the USS Navy of Kakinada and Visakhapatnam. Defence exports have touched a record of rupees 21,083 crores, which is approximately $2.6 billion in the just concluded financial year. This is a growth of 32.5% over the last fiscal, when the figure was 15,920 crore. According to the figures recently released by the Ministry of Defence, that indicate that defence exports have gone up by 31 times in the last 10 years as compared to financial year 2013-14. The defence industry, including the private sector and defence public sector undertakings, have made tremendous efforts in achieving the highest ever defence exports. The private sector and DPSUs have contributed about 60% and 40% respectively. In addition, there has been a rise of number of export authorizations issued to the defence exports during financial year 2023-24. From 1,414 export authorizations in FY 22-23, the number has jumped to 1,507 in FY 23-24. In the continuing anti-piracy operations by the Indian Navy in the Arabian Sea and Red Sea area, naval commandos rescued 23 Pakistani nationals from Somalian pirates in a daring 12-hour operation. The two naval warships, INS Subedha and INS Trishul, successfully captured Iranian-flagged and hijacked fishing vessel FV A1 Khambar. It so happened that these two Indian naval warships, which were on deployment in the region for securing maritime shipping lines, were diverted to intercept this hijacked Iranian fishing vessel. The incident took place on 28th of last month. Both the Indian naval warships stopped the hijacked vessel and forced the sea pirates to surrender without a fight by starting negotiations with them. With this surrender, the Indian Navy achieved a resounding victory in the fight against piracy and preserved the security of maritime operations in the region. After pirates were apprehended successfully by the Indian Navy's Marcos commandos, the Iranian vessel was handed back to its crew to resume their regular fishing operations. And that's all for this week from the Defence News Weekly from NewsGate Television. Keep watching this space for more news from the defence and strategic world. Namaskar. Jai Hind.